Attention, please.
And now, it's Cutter's Rockcast.
There you are.
Here I am.
I love it when it comes across and it just says Metal God.
Is that what it still says?
I see.
Pretentious moi.
Oh, come on. If anybody deserves to be a little pretentious, Mr. Halford, it's you. Come on.
Oh, I'll leave that for the world to debate.
There you go. It is so good to see you. Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure. It's always good to speak with you guys again.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It hit me. I'm going to fangirl just for 1 second because it hit me about 5 minutes ago. And you and I have had conversations in the past. It's not like I've never talked to you, and I talk to rock stars for a living. But man, it's there are certain people that just you realize you're about to talk to them, and you go, "Oh, wait a minute, holy crap!" Like I've had their record since I was 10 years old. It's been 50 years of heavy metal, and that's what you're out celebrating. It's an incredible story, Rob.
It's beautiful. Oh man, 50 years is a long time, and yet, as we're sitting here today, Zooming you and I, it just feels like yesterday. And what I mean by that crazy statement is that I can vividly remember the first ever jam Priest ever had in this teeny tiny little rehearsal room called Holy Joe's that I talk about in the book Confess. I can remember that like yesterday. So the treasure trail, the 50 heavy metal years treasure trail is remarkable. It is astounding. But I'm just so thrilled. We're all so thrilled. We're all so honored to be here, man. We couldn't be here without our beautiful metal maniacs that support us. You guys for playing our records. It's all a big team. You get nowhere in life by yourself. It's all about everybody piling in and everybody, running with the cause, and the cause is flying the heavy metal flag. And here we are 50 years later celebrating.
It's always been surprising to me just how humble you can be, and I cannot wait to read this book. Were you just recording an audio version of this?
Which one? Biblical,
yeah.
behind me. Yeah, I finished it a couple of weeks ago down at Premier Studio here in Phoenix. We don't. Any opportunity, give me something to do. Thomas is put down the remote, get off the recliner, and do something. So this was a joy. This was a joy as a quick follow-up to Confess. It's just the ins and outs, the ups and downs of what you got to go through in our world. So it's just full of rock and roll stories and anecdotes and do this and don't do that. It's me being an old heavy metal Gandalf going, don't do this. If you want that kind of manager, this is going to happen. Get an attorney.
Does that mean if Judas Priest starts 15 minutes late, you go on stage and go, I arrived precisely when I mean to?
I'm a Virgo. I am the epitome of the Virgo. Don't go, actually, I think I was 1 minute. I was 1 minute late calling you because my Zoom wouldn't work properly. But I'm a stickler. Do you use that phrase in the US? A stickler. Yeah. I'm a stickler for precise time. Like Judas Priest, more often than not, will go on stage at 9 o'clock, and I've got a clock in my man cave behind Richie's gear, my little man cave, with all my satanic goat's head and blood and black candles and evil, all the horrible stuff that we get blamed for doing.
Your man cave looks exactly like I imagine it to look then. All right. Yeah.
It's nothing like that. it's Vicks inhaler, some eye drops, a comb for the beard,
sure,
a small mirror to see how ugly I look, all of that cool stuff. But yeah, 9 o'clock. Okay, we're starting at 9 o'clock, not 1 minute after 9, not 8:59. The intro tape, War Pigs, starts at 9 o'clock, and off we go.
There you go. Speaking of Richie, how is he? It's been just over a year since the Metal Miracle, as it's been called.
Yeah, we just passed the. Is this to make an anniversary? I know it was on his mind because we were texting that day 1 year ago. He was on stage giving his all like he does every show. to the lead break section in Painkiller when this horrible aorta thing happened, and he was pumping blood into his chest cavity. And then all of these miracle things come into place. You know, we were special guests with Metallica, so that meant the ambulance was able to get him from the stage to this incredible heart facility in a matter of minutes, which, as you know, big festivals, traffic is a nightmare.
Absolutely.
So there was all of that. There was all of the doctors, the surgeons that were there available. They weren't wrapped up in other things, or they weren't in other parts of the state. So just joy, absolute joy for him, that he's made such a remarkable recovery. And of course, recently he had to have a second procedure to remove some plaque, you know. So after the European tour, 2 days later, he was back in hospital being, you know, the alien thing again.
Right.
And so Richie, God, such a brave man, you know, and then you talk about the challenges in life, and you talk about how beautiful our heavy metal community is for rallying around, because there was so much love being thrown at Richie after that first thing that he went through. And I know it meant the world to him, you know, because you've got your family and everything, you got your band, but you know, to have all of that extra support coming through from all parts of the planet really, really helped him. And so here we are, you know, about to kick off on what is the third leg of the 50th anniversary celebration. And it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. We're so happy to be coming back to you guys again.
Yeah.
Got a great tour. It's a lot of new songs. We've
I was going to ask you about that.
Things.
As you're collecting that thought, I was going to ask you about that, because obviously there's so many great records to celebrate.
Yeah.
And if there was going to be, we've seen the greatest hits Judas Priest set. We've seen the Judas Priest set, you know, focusing on a new album, all of that. But what songs come out then for something like this that's so special? You know, what songs get put into the set? It's
all about dynamics.
A long time.
Yeah, I think most bands will tell you it's all about dynamics. You know, when you see your favorite band, you're hoping that the front end is loaded with stuff that you immediately connect to. Okay. So that's important. We always, you know, consider what our fans are hoping for, and then you mix it up as you go through the middle of the show, and then the back end is the stuff, you know, the Living After Midnights, the Breaking the Laws. These are the songs that are vital. They're like the heavy metal anvils, great band Anvil, the heavy metal anvils of any band that's been able to start to sustain itself. So for a lot of our fans that have been with us forever, thank you so much. We love you. We take you in that time machine back to the 80s, back to the 90s, back to the early 2000s. It's the same for any band. I see the Metallica thing behind you, Metallica Mad. And so my mind is so full because I'm thinking of looking at a clip.
There was a hell yeah one right here with Vinny and everybody's signatures on it. But
don't get me started.
My cat kept knocking it off, and I'm like, "No, you're going to ruin this." And then it was shortly after Vinny died. I'm like, "No, it's now and put in a plastic bag."
Is this Pantera thing going to be amazing or what? We're going to be doing the first show together.
I had Bello, and I know you guys are doing a show together in, I think, South America, if I'm remembering correctly. But I had Frank from Anthrax on, and we were actually talking about that. Obviously, you know, with that connection with Charlie playing drums. You know what? After talking to him, I feel even more excited about it. I think it's the right players, it's the right people to do it justice, you know?
Yeah, that's you said it all there. Yeah, it's the right people. If you know about the way Charlie feels about Pantera, you know the way Zach feels, and the skill that they both have to do the songs justice. Man, this is important. It's important. It's important. You know, and Phil's voice, you know, is the voice of Pantera. What Rex does is as important. So, what's not to love about this really special moment that we're all going to go nuts to hear. I can't wait to hear Zach start churning out. You know, I'm going to be on the side of the stage because we're both on the same bill that night. I'm going to be banging my head like a maniac. I'm so happy for them. Yeah,
I bet you obviously have always had this love for this music, and not just the old bands, but the new bands too. I have this great memory I have of you is we were at oh God, which festival was it? It must have been Rock on the Range. And yes, it was Rock on the Range. So quite a few years ago in Columbus, Ohio. And I saw you backstage and I went to say hi and you said hi for about 5 seconds and Baby Metal walked past and you went, "Oh, I got to go. I got to say hi to them and I got to introduce myself." And that too, I loved that though. Like, yeah, sure, I didn't get a chance to speak to you in person very long, but who cares? That passion and love is so evident from you, and I don't know, that it's such a cool thing to see, especially from somebody who's been doing it as long as you have.
well, belated apologies for going past that quickly because you
Oh,
are
no
important
worries.
to me. You are important to metal with all the great stuff you do. But yeah, I'll tell you what's great about Baby Metal. They're still here. Everybody's like, oh, give them a month. No. Give them a year. No. I had the opportunity to do Painkiller, break the law with them.
Oh
Was it
wow.
was it Painkiller up in the Midwest somewhere?
Yeah.
And that was so cool. They're extraordinary and they're real. You know, you hear all this thing, oh, they're manufactured, blah blah blah. That's not true. The guys are great players. They love what they do with Baby Metal. They're all metal maniacs for everything that happens in the rest of the world. Sue Metal, who's kind of the leader, she's a sweetheart. She's a great talent. So yeah, I couldn't wait to have a quick selfie with them. But that's what we do, man. You know, I think that's the reason why you're here still with us is because it's your genuine love and passion for the music that you play and the bands that you go and see, and it's all about keeping it real.
Absolutely. So digging back into Priest past a little bit, we were talking about this morning just because we're giving away tickets to the show, my morning show. You guys are going to be playing in town at the Rush Center in Green Bay. And we were talking about Birmingham for a second. The Green Bay Packers are playing in London this weekend. So we've been doing a lot
Yes,
of stuff on the morning
yes.
show, jokes or whatever about England and London and Green Bay and everything else. So we were talking about that for a second, Judas Priest tickets. Like, oh, from Birmingham. God, I was thinking about it. What was it about Birmingham? Like, you guys Sabbath, like what was it about that time frame that this dark, heavy, brooding music came out of it in the late 60s and early 70s?
Well, if you'd have been there at that time, you could see it was a bleak place. There was a lot of unhappy people. You know, the you have to use a reference of World War II. I was born in 1951, so it was taking a long while for the country to rebuild itself,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in my neck of the woods. Here's a great film if you want to see what Birmingham and the Midlands used to be like in the 70s, particularly. Slade Slade made a movie called Flame. It's about this imaginary band called Flame.
Okay.
Check it out; it's on the YouTube. But there's a lot of footage of the streets that I walked on, the canals, the factories that were all like pumping all this hideous poisoning to the air. Like the first line from Confess is that I'm suffocating because I used to walk to school and you'd be breathing in all these poisonous fumes. So I think that was part of the desire for a lot of bands to break out and to escape and to lose yourself in the great fantasy and excitement and imagery of heavy metal music. And it's just beautiful. I mean, now it's just like this metropolis. It's just an amazing place. Birmingham City. And Nurgle was texting me the other day because Behemoth just played Birmingham, and he had a picture took of on the Black Sabbath bench. There's a bench called the Black Sabbath bench on the canal in Birmingham, and everybody sits on there. In fact, I think Charlie was on there just recently because Anthrax went through.
Yeah.
I've got my mind on everything metal. I'm always like checking what's going on with bands and so forth. So it actually has this nomica. What the hell is it? It's called the home of metal.
Okay.
Birmingham is the home of metal. If you go to the homeofmetal.com, you find out a lot of interesting stuff about the metal world, the metal scene. Whatever it was, it's beautiful. It's great. How amazing that all of these bands, parts of Zeppelin, or Clem Clemson, the great guitar player, or all the different blues bands. It's just got this really rich history of Birmingham, much like, the blues in Chicago or down in Memphis, sounds that were coming out of New York. Birmingham has that texture as a place for music, and especially heavy metal.
It's the history of it's incredible. I will definitely check that out. Thank you for the things to watch. Now I'm going to go down a wormhole, and I won't sleep tonight, so that'll be cool. The tour kicks off soon. Queensryche will be opening up, which will be amazing to see you two together again. It's been a long time since that's happened. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is just around the corner as well. Judas Priest being inducted, but on what's the actual word? Music
Excellence.
Yeah, the Musical Excellence Award.
That's the Musical Excellence Award. I lost my wig a little bit at these different. Yes, he has a wig. I've got a wig over here. I feel like I want to put it on. So I'm going to put it on now. This is my spiv wig. This is my spiv wig, right?
Don't
ask me how this happened. It was like for a Halloween thing, and I bought this wig. I bought a black one and a gold one. So this is just great. I've worn this a couple of times on stage. I'm going to put it on now. How do I look? How do I look?
You look like the manager of Spinal Tap. That's awesome.
Isn't that just so great? I can handle that. Like this bread. What's going on with this bread? I can't fold it, But I'm a professional. It won't affect me. Hello, Detroit. You're in Cleveland.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's just fantastic. We're so thrilled. We're so honored. The day is looming. We're going to be inducted in November. Whatever you talk about emotionally with regards to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame kind of gets muted on the night, because it's just incredible the talent that we're being inducted alongside. Dolly, Pat Benatar, Eurythmics, Duran Duran, Jimmy Iovine. Is that everybody? Carly Simon.
Yeah, there you go.
7 of us. Oops, that's my alarm going off. I have to wrap things up in a minute.
All good.
It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. Metal in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's the thing we've been pushing. Metal, more metal. So it's going to be an extraordinary night, and we're so stoked and excited and honored to be part of this great event.
It's just amazing that it's taken this long for Judas Priest to be inducted.
Yeah, you got to pay your dues. You got to put like 25 years in or whatever. So in terms of, I was going to say legitimacy, is that the word? I don't know. I think it's about looking at musicians, looking at people in music that have made a significant contribution to their genre of music that they play. And so I think that's nice. That's nice. They're respecting us. They're validating us for what we have done for more than 25 years. So
50
it's going to be brilliant.
Being exact, right?
Yeah, 50 years. Yeah, just sensational.
Really quick, and then I'll go bye. Are you are performing at the induction ceremony?
Yes, it seems like we are, because are we? I don't know. I'm not ready. Are we going to? It's a lot of that. I'm sure this is the same for everybody.
Right.
There's always some kind of there's like a buzz going on. Who's going to be on the stage? What are they going to play? Are they going to do this song? Are they going to do that song? I think for so many of us, none of us are going to do until the show starts. Do you want to play? Yeah, let me just get my guitar. That kind of thing. However the night progresses, however the night displays itself, It's going to be a thrill. Metal in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the only third band, and so we want to bust the doors open and get all the other important people in. You know,
Is that right? You
It's
guys,
pre-
Black Sabbath and
it's pre-
Metallica?
that's all, isn't it? We want Lemmy in, we want Maiden in, we want Dio
Oh
in.
God, I always forget that those guys aren't in there either. It's just mind blowing. Anyway,
yeah, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. So enjoy it when you get to see it. It's going to be
absolutely. Tour kicks off next week in Green Bay, the end of October. Rob Halford, Judas Priest, 50 Years of Heavy Metal, the book available now, audiobook soon. Thank you, Rob, seriously, so much. The Metal God, I love it so much, man. And it's always good to see you.
Thanks, buddy. All the best. Thanks for everything. Stay hard, stay heavy, stay metal. Oh, yeah.
Cutter's Rockcast.
Don't forget to tune in.
Exactly.